The start of the Betway Premiership will be dominating the sports news coverage this weekend. To talk to us about that and other stories, we're joined by SABC News senior sports journalist Thando Mxoli. Thando, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your people.
Not my people.
I
think if we're starting the season, we need to respect the champions.
Yeah, Maratando.
And these guys have been league champions 8 consecutive times. I think that's a level of excellence we need to respect.
We used to say back in the days, roll the tape. We can roll the tape. You've had a reason why you are wearing this shirt each and every time you've come through.
It's a different shirt, by the way. And also, really, who can chase them? I think that's a big question of this season. Who can topple Sundowns from that?
So you decided to honor them.
Well, they've won the last eight league titles.
So tell me about that. The start of the Betway Premiership. Sure. Sundowns, as you say, defending champions, 8 wins in a row. Mm-hmm. Is this the season that they will face a serious contender, serious challenge?
They've faced serious contenders, they've faced serious challenges, but I think Sundowns have got into a habit. They know how to run the marathon. Other people are still struggling with that. Other teams are very good at short sprints. We saw last season, for example, Orlando Pirates started off very well in those first 7 matches, and then 1 or 2 losses, the gap becomes 6 points, and then Sundowns basically start putting distance between themselves and the rest. So it's very difficult to say anyone can topple them. They still have a very strong squad, an experienced squad. 2 things for me. Ribeiro, Shalulil, losing those quality of players will be interesting. I think Ribeiro is not confirmed to be going, but he's not part of the squad yet. Shalulil is rumored to be leaving to go play his football in North Africa. Those are 2 experienced players who can win you important matches. And again, I think replacing those in the short term will be difficult.
So juxtapose those 2 likely losses, let's call it that, of quality in the Sundowns squad against what the other coaches have been doing, the coaches of the other teams have been doing. How does that tee up the competition in terms of who is going to give Sundowns a run for their money?
I think the closest contender is easily Orlando Pirates. They've made a good almost a dozen signings, quality signings at that, international quality players. The big one was obviously Osborne Apollos going to Sundowns and basically elevating the standard of play. Mbule, if Mbule behaves and he basically sorts out his off-the-field problems, Mbule is world-class. He always reminds me of Jabu Pule back in the days, whereby on their day they can literally tear apart any defenses. At the back, Orlando Pirates have got SABC, who's a Bafana International. He's a leader this season. He's got the responsibility of leading the Buccaneers at the back. He's a quality player himself. Again, they've grown in experience, that back 4 of theirs. So you also sit and you wonder, where can you beat them? The only thing that where Pirates can come short, maybe, at the back there are a bit of holes, but consistency is the biggest one, because when you've got a young squad, you need to be consistent and you need to make sure that these guys keep level-headed and are able to run the marathon. The league title is the most difficult title because it's a marathon. It goes over for such a long period.
I noticed that you don't mention Kaizer Chiefs. Is this the season where they slingshot and from that path, which has been problematic for them, slingshot and begin, albeit a slow and steady path back to a semblance of glory?
No, I think they're still a team in transition. They haven't done enough for me in the transfer window. They could have been a lot more aggressive. They went, and I think you know what? Sometimes you let science and different ideas get into the way of simple logical thinking. They needed, for example, to strengthen up front, and they needed a proven goal scorer up front. They didn't go for someone who's proven. They went and found someone who has to adapt to the league, has to adapt to the players. That's not going to help. The goalkeeping department is a big worry for me, because we've got players there who have been at Chiefs for a long time, but the standard at which they play is not high enough. It's not Chiefs quality and level. So if you don't have a striker and you don't have a goalkeeper, it's kind of hard to win any soccer match. So I think Chiefs at the moment are looking to basically break into that top 4 and become top 8 contenders, purely because I don't believe they've done enough in the transfer business to warrant being title league challenges.
And which of the underdogs will you be watching closely? Last year was Stellenbosch's year, was it?
But even Stellenbosch got, I always call it the middle table syndrome, whereby you sell your best players. They've lost for us by Bazradin, was a very good player, international player, Bafana player. They've sold him to Sundowns, but replacing him in the short term, that's where you lose your momentum. Replacing someone of that quality is not that easy. So as much as they'll be competitive, I don't see them breaking into the gap between Sundowns and Pirates. Sekhukhune United also proved to be a very capable team. Under Eric Tinkler, he'll know what to do and what to do with the squad that he's got. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Again, a team like Chippa United is an unknown factor. They've quietly gone about their business. When they start running, they can also be a serious team that you can sit and say, on their day, they'll surprise you, especially when you go to Gqeberha. So, again, there are a couple of teams that might win here or there, but over a long period, which is the marathon of a league title, there's still two teams that have got the depth in quality, that is still Pirates and Sundowns.
All right, lastly, let's talk rugby. New Zealand are the reigning world champions. Tell me about how that competition is going to shape up. This is the Women's Rugby World Cup, yeah?
Yes. Look, South Africa have involved SA Rugby, Bulls Daisies, those are the two leaders in investing in women's rugby for me. They put massive money behind it. The quality has shown we've improved a lot. I don't know if we're good enough to topple New Zealand just yet, but I think the way this team has been improving under Coach De Bruin, they will actually be contenders. I think semi-finalists. I think we can go that far. That's how much improvement I've seen in the team. Again, the one sad thing about women's rugby that you're talking about, Lusanda Dumke, her basically moving away from rugby was a sad one for me because it's someone that she had that inspirational story. I remember her being crowned Eastern Cape Sports Star of the Year, and she basically said, I don't want a polo. She got given a polo as a prize. She said, I don't want a polo Vivo. I need a house for my family, because she was staying in a shack at that moment. Lusanda basically rose above all kinds of adversity to create a rugby career for herself, led the Bulls to 3 titles, and unfortunately, ill health has robbed off her rugby career. So that is a big one for the Springbok women, because she was part of one of the top players in the team. So, but looking forward into this World Cup, I think we'll be contenders, we'll compete, and we are a team that is constantly improving.
All right, Thando, thank you for coming through. I promise you, next time you're here, we'll be watching what shirt you're wearing and what excuse you will have for wearing that shirt.
We'll see.
That's Thando Mxoli, senior SABC News sports journalist.